The whole truth, nothing but the truth, the unspoken truth.
Yes, yes, yes. We're back outside, it's a nice day outside, Not, but it's not hot. So we're back outside. Today's episode is going to be not as funny or anything like that. It's going to be a topic that's close to my heart. We're going to talk about the last words that I had with my best friend. Like so. So, to sum it up, I met my best friend. His name is Justin Bradley. I met him, I want to say going into 8th grade. Going into 8th grade. So I was going into 8th grade. He was a grade underneath me. He was going into 7th. And I just moved to Orlando. I remember being outside for whatever reason when I moved into the neighborhood, and I was throwing. I think I had a cutlass in my hand. I think my mom told me to go outside and do something productive in my life or something. I don't know. But I just moved in the neighborhood, so I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. We've been there for like a week. And they used to be outside. When I say they, it was him and a couple other kids of the neighborhood. They'd be outside and they'd be playing like street ball. So not basketball. Like they used to do this really street baseball, like playing in the street, no grass or anything like that. And they would have like tennis balls, which we would steal from the tennis court that was behind our neighborhood. And pretty much they were outside, so I think I went outside anyways. My mom made me go outside and was telling me, hey, we can go do something. So I went outside and I was throwing the cutlass around. So think about an 8th grader, just a big knife, just throwing it around. And he literally like yells like, hey, and I'm like, I look, and he was like, hey, you want to come play? So it was a summer into 8th grade, so I haven't talked to anybody because the school didn't start yet. So he was literally the first kid to embrace me into the new, area, right? So fast forward a little bit, we pretty much came inseparable. Literally did everything, movies, anything teenager kids do. Always either at his house or outside because we lived in the same cul-de-sac. So we would pretty much just wake up, call each other, well, not call each other because we didn't have cell phones back then, but like go over to each other's house and see what we were doing for that day. Then we got into skateboarding, which was another episode. That took a great deal of like our life. So I would say I probably started skating like, because we played basketball too, but I would start skating like around I don't know what grade it was. So let's say like the end of 8th, so like freshman year maybe. We were just skateboarding because Tony Hawk came out and we were just knocking it up, and then that ended up happening. We ended up forming a clique or a group. We used to call ourselves H2O, and we would just around the neighborhood that we lived in, skate at schools, get trespassed from schools for skating at schools, skate at different areas, because around those areas, they had different stuff that you can use as a skater to either ollie, do a trick over, or kickflip, whatever the case may be, or stair set, or rails, or whatever. So we were really pretty much glued at the hip. I would want to say like towards the end of high school when I started doing like step and stuff. I started like drifting and hanging with a different crowd, more of like people that was more involved in the step or like dancing or whatever, because I started joining the dance crew. He was hanging out with a different crowd. Now I don't know exactly because I wasn't with that crowd, but they started dabbling into different types of like smoking and drinking. And I've even anybody that knows me to this day, I don't drink and I don't smoke. Like I just don't do it. Like, I'm not saying I never did it. I'm just saying I don't do it because of the simple fact of I didn't see the point of it. Like, it did nothing for me as a person. But he would go and he would do that, and which kind of made us, I don't want to say go apart from each other, but it kind of made us not be close 24/7 with each other. So he started hanging with that set of people. I started hanging with the dancers or whatever. And then crossover happened. So then now I'm not even in the country anymore because I'm in and out with different shows with crossover. So we will still touch back out. When I come back in town, I would still hang over there. There's still the chill spot. He ended up moving a little bit, but it was like 5 minutes down the road from where he used to live. So 5 minutes from my current house that I had at that time, my mother's house. But I would still come in and hit him up, visit, talk it up, and like catch him up. Like, hey, this week I did X, Y, and Z, and da 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 da. And he would do the same thing on his end. He at that time, I think he was in and out of different jobs. Like he was really good at mechanics. Like I would literally bring my car if something happened to it and be like, hey, I don't know what this noise is, and he'd be like, oh, and he'll MacGyver it, like, so and fix it. So it saved me a lot of money. But he started like getting depression. I don't know if he was doing it pretty much because he wanted to do more in his life, or he just couldn't hold a job, or whatever the case may be. But he still kept a happy spirit, and would always joke around, and anytime anybody was around him. And what happened was I wasn't, I guess, here a lot or whatever. So he had other friends. I'm not saying I was his only friend, but he was my best friend. But I don't know exactly the other people that was around him. But we had a handshake. I don't know if I have any video of our handshake, but it's mad corny. But we had a handshake, and anytime we see each other, we would do a certain handshake. And it wasn't really a handshake. It was like more of like a hi-fi hop. But everybody in our clique, the H2O clique, used to do it. So anytime I see him, that was the first thing we did that, right? So fast forward, he's going through the depression. He's drinking heavily. He's just not happy where he's at. Me and his family, his mom, his brother, would try different ways to maybe try to see if we can get him into like rehab or whatever the case may be. But he didn't want to take it because he didn't want us spending money on him, like that, whatever. So I guess none of us really seen like it coming or anything like that. Like, we would just try to do the best that we can, walk him through it, you know. He was trying to like stop cold turkey drinking wise. That's really not as easy as maybe some people might think. That's really a hard task. And so let's fast forward to the last time that me and him talked. So he hit me up, want to say like the night before. It was Cinco de Mayo. The next day was Cinco de Mayo. So it was the day before Cinco de Mayo, so May 4th, right? He hits me up and he's like, hey, can I borrow $20 for whatever? I don't know what it was for, but can I borrow $20? So I had a show on Cinco de Mayo, and I was getting ready to go there. So I was like, hey, I'll hit you up in the morning, and I'll meet up with you, and we can go, I can give you the money or whatever. So he was like, all right, cool. Now, one thing about Justin is he always, like, I always had to wake him up. Like, especially when it's early in the morning. I always had to wake him up. So on this particular morning, when I told him I'll hit him up in the morning because I had to head to Miami for a show. So I hit him up, and I think it was like 6:30. It had to be like 6:30, 6:45. I call him like 2 rings. He picks up the phone. I was like, whoa, you're up. Like, and he's like, hey. And I was like, all right, so what do you want to meet? And he's like, we can meet at the 7-Eleven, XYZ, get the money, and then you go about your business. So I was like, why is this man up? Like, he's never up this early. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I get dressed, finish packing, get in my car, head over to 7-Eleven, When I pulled up to the 7-Eleven, he was sitting in his truck. Now, again, like I said before, every time we see each other, it's always, hey, like a high five and keep moving. I'll get out my car, and I look, and he's just sitting in the car, like he's just straight face, just in the car. So I'm just, alright, so I was like, hey, what's up? And then he's like, what's up? And I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but alright. So I hurry up because I'm running late now to hit the road. Go get the money, come back. I hand it to him, and he still didn't get out the car. So now he didn't get out the car. He didn't do our signature handshake. He's still in the car. Takes the money, says thanks, puts it like in his where you drink the cup holder. And I'm looking at him. I'm just like, bro, you good? I'm pretty sure I asked him that. I was like, you good? And he was just like, yeah. And then he was like, where you heading? I was like, Miami. I'll be back by like, I think it was, I don't know. I want to say it was, I'll be back by like Sunday or something like that. So he was like, all right, cool. And then, so I was like, bro, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. So he was like, yeah, I'm good. I promise I'm good. And I was like, all right. Well, I gotta go. I'm running late to hit the road, and I didn't want to deal with morning traffic, so I didn't think anything of it. But I knew something was up because he literally never not acknowledged like our handshake or acknowledged like, hey, what's up, bro? So I jump in my car and I head off, vroom, down the road. So that was again in the morning. So I do my dizzle, get ready for my show, head out to the show. It's now like, I don't know, I want to say like 8, maybe 7 p.m., maybe 9, I don't know. It was nighttime. And I get a text from his brother. His brother's name is Jason. And Jason says to me, hey bro, I know you're like family to us. I want you to be the first to know that I just got notification that Justin shot himself in the house. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, stop playing. Like, stop playing with me. Stop playing. I text him back, like, are you serious? Like, are you serious right now? And he texts back. He was like, yeah, I'm heading over there right now, because he didn't obviously live there at the time. So he's heading over. The crazy part about the whole thing was, his mother was in the house when it happened. So I'm right at this point. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. So I literally didn't perform that night. I think I packed up my stuff and I drove back home. And I want to say the year before that, I lost one of my closest cousins. And then a year after that, I lost a close family member, an aunt, which is a whole nother episode. I think it might be the next episode, but I just didn't see that. He had, guns and stuff like that. He had a license, like a sealed armed license, but to shoot himself, like I don't know where that came from. So that hit us home, and I think it had a lot to do with the depression. The depression took over, and it hit home hard. Like I was done, and I felt like he wanted to tell me something that morning that I talked to him, and I didn't have the conversation. Blah blah, I'm too busy or whatever the case may be. Like I didn't sit down and talk to him. I don't know how much talking would have helped at that point, but that always plays back in my head. So like sometimes now, even now to this day, if somebody hits me up, like I stop what I'm doing and I try my best. If I'm not in the middle of jumping out of a car or something like that, or shooting a music video, but I try my best to stop and especially when it's like subtle signs like that. I try to pay attention to those things. So for anybody that you guys know around you that is dealing with depression, like just try to, your best to be around them, try to uplift them as much as possible, because it's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. Like, I never thought in my life that, I thought we were gonna be old, crusty old men laughing about, like, hey, you remember when we used to watch Journey Hawk? Like we didn't even make it through, to the 30s, right? Like, so it's one of those crazy situations that you'd never think in life that it would happen to you, or to someone that you're close to like that. So this is my episode, and nobody really knows the story too, of my last conversation with my best friends. Again, it's your boy Kupid, aka Q, and this is Unspoken. Boom.